and trained in programs, government programs. And when I grew up, I was indoctrinated, totally indoctrinated. They cut my hair, sent me to school, and I was indoctrinated, and it took a long time. But when I went to ceremonies, I come out and I'm a Dakota again. I have that Dakota mind of values, where he's going to take us. And we're having a hard time.
Does this one going to learn that?
They're trying their best to do it. They're doing it, trying to deprogram what happened. I can get to other issues, but I hate to hurt people's feelings,
It's a tough job, isn't it?
Tell me about it.
No.
Tell me about it. But I'm talking to you from what I understand and what I learned. And, when it was out west, doing Standing Rock, I think it was in August, we did the ceremonies out there at the pipeline. Akishita in our language means a veteran. But Akishita in our culture is totally different being a veteran. When I went to the camp in August, I said, I left my uniform outside this camp, my army uniform. I come here as an Akishita. I came in here. Akishita means with your eyes, you observe with your eyes how you can help people. That is the Akishita old culture way to help. So I came in here to protect the women and the children. And then they told us to take our pipes and do a ceremony at the dig itself. There was no opposition. We went there and did the ceremony there. And it was a peaceful march, even though many of us, the last march we did, there must have been about 4,000 or 5,000 of us. We all were trained as the other military were, but we kept peace because we did a ceremony with that pipe. And it's still going on today.
Oh,
It's still going on. The march that they did was the women were the biggest supporters. Today, you see all these marches are women taking the lead. Who are we? Are we supporting them? We better support them because they're the ones that are doing it. Because what I said earlier, we were encased in water. And this is where I come from. And we can do a lot, if we think that way. There's other things I can tell. There's many things I can tell. What I went through, but the Indian knowledge came back to the old ceremonies that we did what we were told to do to help. And so what I'm telling you is not in books. It's not wrote in books. You can give a presentation. I listened to many presentations, but it was all somebody else's fiction they wrote in books. It's all fiction. Wrote in books. And indoctrinating you to believe it. And I know so. We trained one man, I think you guys might know him, named Tom Sanders. Arapaho and Cheyenne, myself. We trained this man on the petroglyphs. We trained him. And he understands. I told him last night, we trained you. He says, yes, you did. We trained you. But my old friends are gone now. Arapaho, Cheyenne, other trainers, they're gone now. I'm the only one left of that group, the coalition. The only one left now.
You got a lot of responsibility then.
I went through it. I went through it. I never told this story, but I'm going to tell you. I went to mission school when I was about just a young kid. I did something that I did not, I was honest, I didn't do that. They took me in, took my shirt off. The students, all the kids are there in mission school. They took my shirt off and used shaving, the old shavings used to shave with. They whipped me. They whipped me with a razor strap.
Yep.
But I stood my grounds and I said, I did not do that. They didn't believe me. I got whipped. And I was only about 7 years old, 6 years old. I still remember that, what happened, you know. In Standing Rock, I went up there. The injury in the Army, they call it post-traumatic stress. In the Army.
Oh, okay.
I went through that. I went through that. But I seen all these individuals in Standing Rock, especially the women, they got hurt. They got hurt. They will always remember that. And how do we bring that back? How do we bring that back again?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to do. Believe me. What the government did to the innocent and grandchildren got thrown in Fargo in a dog kennel. Many of them got shot with rubber bullets. Canisters, I was there. They got shot. And how do we mend that? How can we mend that? It goes back in history. I'm telling you what we went through. Post-traumatic stress. I still remember these things. So how do we mend that? My grandfather was born right here, before Fort was. I don't know, it's been told. I don't know if you've been told. But they're going to Fort Wadsworth, Fort Sissetowan. Veterans, the cavalry, they froze out there in the prairie. Is that in the books? They froze out here in the book, not on the prairie out here, in a snowstorm. They came out here. We know that, you know. And I don't know, you didn't tell that in your presentation. But right out here, we know exactly where it happened. We were told what was happened, and we found them. We know what happened here. You know. We know what happened is Fort Sissetowan. You mentioned a name ago. There was many executions of 1862. Many. They only call it 38 plus 2 is not true. A minute ago I heard about the Santees in different areas. They have barged the Indian people, Dakota people, down on the Mississippi River and up the Missouri River and dropped them off with the Santees and the Yanktons and all this, where they're dropped off in the middle of winter when there was no food. They died of hypothermia. I don't know how many throughout in the Mississippi River and the Missouri River. How many were thrown there? Don't know. No count. There is execution at Fort Sissetowan by bounty hunters that took the Indian people up there and executed them and never found them. I looked for them and I couldn't find them. They're still going, you know, still looking. They never found it. They never found it. I was involved in repatriation. I was deeply involved in that. In fact, I was the one that brought him back from Washington, D.C. with my son in the pickup. Remember that? I brought the remains back from Washington, D.C. in my pickup and put them up there. It is a very sad journey for me. You see that? I was involved in that. I testified in Washington, D.C. Call it unaffiliated. I mentioned ago, I said, we're not unaffiliated. We never were. We were never unaffiliated because we were affiliated with all tribes. And they're trying to make a law that says you cannot bring that back because you're not affiliated. We mixed with other tribes in our journey. A minute ago, I was talking about down in Florida area. How many times we integrated with other tribes in our continent, our travels, Dakota. How many? It's still going on today. So when we brought these remains, you made a law, you cannot bring it back because you're not affiliated with them. I said, that's a bunch of BS, because we were mixed with other tribes, and we got it done. We got it done. So that's, I got a lot of miles on me. I got many miles on me. And I can tell you a lot of other things too that you